Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today I'm coming to you to bring you my Game of the Year awards for 2015. I decided to shoot the video a little bit differently to end the year on sort of a high note, try something out a little bit new. I don't know, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and the Game of the Year awards and everything like that, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So like a couple weeks back, I basically had asked you guys to, give me your vote on what you wanted your Game of the Year to be for 2015, and we're going to get those results later on in the video right at the end, because I do think that's probably one of the most important results that we're going to get in is your guys' feedback to see if that lines up with what my Game of the Year is, and I was really curious to see those results, and we'll get a look at those towards the end of the video. But first, starting out is the best platformer for 2015, and this is a category that I actually kind of created right at the tail end of doing this because I wanted to have a category where I could showcase Ori and the Blind Forest to let you guys know just how brilliant of a game it is without just giving an honorable mention, because it was the best platformer of 2015. I'll give it that. It definitely was, and it was really up there as far as Game of the Year contenders go for me. It was really one of the best titles I played this year. I know a lot of people had it on their Game of the Year list, and it seemed like maybe some people had it as their Game of the Year because they just wanted to stay away from those really obvious titles like Fallout 4 or Witcher 3, and we'll talk about that later on with my Game of the Year. But as far as, best platformer, Ori and the Blind Forest, if you haven't played it, it came out on just Xbox One and PC, I believe. I don't believe it came out on PS4 or Wii U. But Xbox One and PC, and you could play it. Really good side-scrolling platform if you like the style of games, sort of like Limbo, things like that, with a really good art style and a good narrative as well. If you've played things like Brothers, then you will definitely appreciate maybe kind of the narrative style of a game like Ori and the Blind Forest, but really one of the best titles that I did play this year, and that's why I decided to give it my best platformer title for 2015. Up next, we have our best multiplayer and best shooter categories. Now, I initially thought that maybe I would only do one category because I thought that one game would take both of them. But actually, no, that's not actually the case. The best multiplayer title for me this year was actually Rocket League. And I'm giving it the best multiplayer title because I really feel like it had the best polished multiplayer as far as new titles coming out in 2015. As far as, completed games that came out in 2015 outside of like beta releases. Blizzard, I'm looking at you. Yes, I know about your game. I know about your game. But as far as full games that came out in 2015, Rocket League just came pretty much out of nowhere and just put out a really polished multiplayer experience that pretty much, I would say, defined the summer of 2015. Like, summer of 2015, like, what were you doing? You were playing Rocket League pretty much because nothing else was coming out, but also because Rocket League was a really good title, and they delivered a polished multiplayer experience, which is also set up for a competitive scene as well. It's definitely a title that has everything set up in place for a very strong competitive scene, and that's why the competitive scene, oddly enough, has taken off in Rocket League, very similar in the way that it has in titles like CSGO and Dota 2. Now, Rocket League has its own thing. It's certainly smaller than those other titles, but it definitely has its own place in that competitive scene, and Rocket League definitely seems as though it's here to stay for a little while longer. I would say its popularity has died down since summer because we have had a lot of big titles, and it's going to be interesting to see where it is, like, summertime next year. But right now, it's still a pretty strong title. You can still hop on there. You're not going to have any trouble finding a match. You're still going to find tens of thousands of players on there at any given time, and that's really a big credit to the fact that it was cross-platform between PS4 and PC. So that was really just a great thing that they did there with Rocket League having cross-platform between PS4 and PC, I thought. For my best shooter of 2015, this shouldn't really come as much of a surprise to you guys. It's Rainbow Six Siege. I've been talking about this game a lot because I've just been enjoying it pretty much all throughout 2015, actually, because they had an alpha earlier in the year, then they had multiple betas coming down the pipe towards the end of the year, right before the game came out earlier in December, and I've been playing it non-stop since it came out in December with a lot of my friends, and it's just been a really refreshing multiplayer shooter experience, something that I really haven't had capture my time and just make me want to play it constantly the way that I am now since something like, I would say, like Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 was the last game I really played that made me want to sit down and play it constantly in the way that I am with Rainbow Six Siege. Up next is actually an interesting group of categories. It's actually all negative categories, and I was going to do these separately, but oddly enough, it was all one game that took every single one of these, and if you've been keeping up with my channel through the course of 2015, then you probably know exactly where this is heading right now, and that is to Batman Arkham Knight. And this is basically for worst port of the year, which I actually, when I put the video out, I could called it the worst port of all time. It was actually one of my best videos of the year. That video really took off and really helped the channel grow this year quite a bit. That worst port of the all-time video for Batman Arkham Knight, that was a really good video for this year. I look back at that one all the time. If I do like a retrospective, that's definitely going to be one of the ones that's in there. But that, without a doubt, took my worst port of the year. It had an absolutely terrible launch on PC. Nightmare. They wound up pulling it from Steam. It was that bad. They pulled it from Steam because so many customers were getting refunds, which was a new thing on Steam at the time, and this was really one of the first big titles that came out following that, where Steam refunds were a possibility for customers at launch, consumers at launch, where they could say, this game is shit, it doesn't fucking run, it doesn't work, give me back my money, bitch. And you got back your money, bitch. Yo, where's my money, bitch, bitch. Yo, where's my money, bitch? Bitch. Where's my money? Bitch. The sun's really coming out now. Bitch. But yeah, a lot of people basically got refunds on Batman Arkham Knight, and that led to it getting pulled from the store. Eventually, it did come back. Came back without SLI support, and that's why it took my next negative award this year, which was Worst SLI Support of the Year. Yes, that's right. In all future years, in all annual award videos, when I'm giving away awards, I will be doing the worst SLI game of the year. And this year, for me, without a shadow of doubt, was Batman Arkham Knight, which at launch actually ran better on single card versus SLI. And after they relaunched the game, they actually wound up pulling SLI altogether and just basically saying, hey guys, fuck it, we give up. We're not going to be supporting SLI in this game now or ever. Alright, so with all the negative stuff out of the way, talking about more positive things, my best port of the year, without a shadow of a doubt, goes to Metal Gear Solid 5. I played the hell out of MGS5, completed it, reviewed it for you guys, loved the hell out of it. Sure, it didn't have a finite ending, and there was a lot of controversy around the game with the the FOB insurance and all that stuff like that, but at the end of the day, the single player was a shit ton of fun, and they also did a really good job with the port, which is what this category is really all about. The game ran quite well on a wide variety of hardware. It did have the 60 FPS cap issue, but that was quite easily remedied. I actually did a guide for that right at launch. That was handled within like 24 hours. That's how quick the 60 FPS cap was taken care of. And it didn't give me any issues at all as far as physics performance was concerned, like a lot of people thought we would get with MGS5. But no, that was not really an issue for me whatsoever. So really good port for MGS5. Looking forward to seeing what Kojima does in the future with his new studio now, and seeing when that comes to PC, and seeing really what he can do there. Alright, so coming down towards the end now, we have three categories: Best Story, Best Graphics, and Game of the Year, which, oddly enough, all were taken by the same title, and I think you have pretty much a good idea of what it is. It's Witcher 3. Witcher 3 wound up taking a clean sweep of Best Story, Best Graphics, and Game of the Year. For me, it is without a doubt my Game of the Year. And also, we went to the viewer choice, which I talked about at the beginning of the video, getting your guys' opinion on what you thought Game of the Year should be, and you guys also strongly voted as well. Witcher 3 was your Game of the Year. Now, obviously, Fallout 4 was a very strong contender in there for this, but at the end of the day, I do believe that Witcher did deliver a more polished experience at launch compared to Fallout 4, and Fallout 4 has still not really patched those issues. And also, speaking of the previous categories where I was talking about Best Story and Best Graphics, those also went to Witcher 3 for me as well. The graphics in Witcher 3 are just absolutely stunning, just seriously mind-blowing. One of the best games I've ever seen, and really well optimized too, in my personal opinion. I think it scales very well on a wide variety of hardware. You know, if you want to crank up all the settings and mod the hell out of it, if you have a high-end system, then you could definitely do that, and it will take advantage of your hardware. So that's just one of the reasons why I absolutely love Witcher 3, and I've been loving the hell out of it, and that's why I gave it my Game of the Year, and I have a feeling that's why you guys gave it your Game of the Year as well over Fallout 4. Before I get out of here, I did have a few honorable mentions, like Undertale, Pillars of Eternity, Project Cars, Legacy of the Void for StarCraft 2, Dirt Rally, and City Skylines. None of these did take any of the awards that I was giving out this year, but they were honorable mentions. I did want to just throw out a mention for those games because they did put out some good titles right there, those ones that I mentioned. So definitely all of those games are worth checking out. All the games besides Batman Arkham Knight in this video are worth checking out. But I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. This is my last video for 2015. Been an absolute hell of a year. And I will see you guys in 2016. And I will catch you guys next year. Ta-ra.